What's up, guys? Tomorrow is game day. The Saints take on the Falcons in Atlanta at noon. And that means today we're going to be previewing the Saints versus Falcons Week 1 matchup, which we've been waiting a long-ass time for. This is the most excited I've been for a Saints season in a very long time. So if you guys are excited, make sure to subscribe and keep watching, because now I'm finally starting getting into the commentary during the season. So I'm going to have a lot of content coming out this season. We got previews, we got recaps, I still got the post-game highlights I plan on doing. And I'm going to have some videos in between those weeks as well. So if you guys are excited, like I said, subscribe for more, because they will be coming out this season. We're going to go crazy, and hopefully our Saints go crazy too. And the Saints play the Falcons. This is my first time really doing a preview video, like starting to get in the rhythm of doing so every week. So the way I'm going to plan on doing this, at least for this week, is we're going to split the video into a couple different segments. First, I'm going to talk about the Saints offense versus the Falcons defense. And then vice versa, I'm going to talk about the Falcons offense versus the Saints defense. I might briefly discuss some special teams or some key X-Factor matchups. We'll just kind of see how the flow of the video goes. And then after that, I will give my official prediction for the matchup. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into the first segment of this video. So to start off this video, we're going to talk about the Saints offense against the Falcons defense. And I think it really all starts with Jameis Winston and the Saints wide receivers going up against the Falcons secondary. And the reason I say that is because last year when the Falcons beat us in the Superdome, really both these teams looked a lot different. You know, the Saints offense was Trevor Siemian. We still had Alvin Kamara, but he would go on to get injured in that game. And then we didn't have him for the next 4 or 5 weeks. We didn't have Michael Thomas. We didn't have Jarvis Landry. We did not have Chris Olave. I believe the receivers that game, Callaway was the number one. Then it was Traquan Smith. Then it was like Kenny Stills, Lil Jordan Humphrey. I mean, shit was just not good. These teams are very completely different, like not even close. Like literally our 3 wide receivers are bumped down to the 4, 5, and 6. And now we have a completely brand new 1, 2, and 3. That's how different this offense is. And I believe Jameis Winston is coming back from an ACL injury. And I think he's poised for a breakout game in this game. Because, I mean, let's be honest, the Falcons' secondary is not all that good. Obviously, you have A.J. Terrell. I'm not sure if he's going to be man-to-man on Michael Thomas. It is worth noting that Michael Thomas is not guaranteed to play. He is listed as questionable with that hamstring injury. It's not the ankle that's the problem anymore. He had that hamstring injury, I believe, at some point during joint practices or at some point during camp. But all of the Saints insiders are saying they would be absolutely shocked if Michael Thomas did not play with how good he looked in practice. So I'm going to go ahead and, the way I'm going to talk about the Saints offense in this video is going to be as if Michael Thomas is playing. So if Michael Thomas is playing, I'm not sure A.J. Terrell will travel with Michael Thomas, but if he does, I'm not all that worried, because we all saw what Michael Thomas did to A.J. Terrell back in, I believe, 2020 when Michael Thomas was playing on one leg, when he was still playing injured. He absolutely fucked A.J. Terrell in coverage both games. I believe he had over 100 yards both games, which is insane, because bro was playing on one fucking leg. But as we know, A.J. Terrell does have a tendency to not travel with the number 1 receiver. He actually tends to travel with the less good receiver, which makes no sense to me. I'm not exactly sure why that is. Maybe they like A.J. Terrell playing on just one side of the field. I don't know, but I guess A.J. Terrell's just a bum bitch that's scared to go against premier guys. But I do low-key hope that A.J. Terrell does travel with Michael Thomas, because I want to see Michael Thomas absolutely bully him again. Michael Thomas owns A.J. Terrell. But other than that, the Falcons really don't have anything in the secondary. They have, I believe, Casey Hayward is their number 2 corner, who I'm not sure if he's the guy he once was, but he's probably still pretty solid. I haven't really watched much of him, to be honest with you, but I'm sure he's still a solid player. We'll see how Chris Olave fares against him. But my main point here is I just don't think the Falcons defense has enough to contain these Saints wide receivers, especially because the Saints offense and Jameis Winston are all going to be super eager to get back on there on the field and to kind of show off their brand new offense. And I think there's going to be a lot of chips on, like, every player's going to have a chip on their shoulder. Jameis Winston has a chip on his shoulder. Michael Thomas has a chip on his shoulder. I'm sure Jarvis Landry, for some reason, has a chip on his shoulder just because he's on a new team and he's ready to prove that he's still that guy. Alvin Kamara has a chip on his shoulder because he was hurt last year. He has to prove that, he's still that guy back in, I believe, 2020 when he had that 20-something touchdown season. Everyone has a chip on their shoulder. So I believe the Saints offense is going to play angry. They're going to play like they have something to prove. And I just don't think the Falcons have enough. I mean, in the pass rush, they have nobody. Grady Jarrett can't do it by himself because last year he was the only guy in that pass rush. He only had 1 sack last year. Now, I know it's not all about sacks, but that does definitely show you something. Just double team Grady Jarrett, and the rest of the Saints offensive line should be fine because they are pretty much healthy for the most part. Even though Trevor Penning is injured, I don't think he was going to be the starter anyway. We still got James Hurst at left tackle, who we've seen play left tackle a lot in recent years because of injuries to Armstead. So that does it for the passing offense. I'm going to go and talk about the rushing offense real quick. I'm going to keep it brief because not much to talk about here. The Saints should have their way in the run game because, like I said, the Falcons have no D-line. Even at linebacker level, they lost Aluakon, who I believe went to the Jaguars. He was a really good tackler for them. He's not there anymore. And I believe Deion Jones is injured on the PUP list or IR or something. He's not going to play in this game. So the Falcons' front seven is Grady Jarrett and Plumbers, and literally nobody's. So if the Saints' offensive line just plays half of what they're capable of, the Saints should have their way in the run game with both Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram. I would really love to see kind of a rebirth of that 2017 run game with AK and Ingram. I don't necessarily want to see a running game split because obviously I think we would all like to see AK get the majority of the touches. But I would like to see Mark Ingram a little more involved than he was last year because we didn't have a whole lot of AK and Ingram together last year. There was just a couple games, and then it was always one of them were injured. They never really both played together a whole lot. I like to see the Saints offense get both of them going at the same time, get some play action going with Jameis, and all that good stuff. So, in conclusion, the Saints offense has a clear advantage against the Falcons defense. So let's go ahead and talk about the Saints defense against the Falcons offense. The Falcons offense is led by newly signed quarterback Marcus Mariota, who was drafted in the same draft class as Jameis Winston. He spent his recent years as a backup with the Las Vegas Raiders, but they kind of used him as a gadget guy, almost like Taysom Hill in terms of quarterback, not so much, at tight end and other positions like that. But they would put him in the game every once in a while to run a read option or run up the middle or something like that. I'm not really sure what to think of Marcus Mariota. Obviously, the Falcons think that he's still capable of being a starting quarterback. I really don't think he's going to be even close to that guy that he was when he was, I guess you would call it, in his prime with Tennessee, even though he was never really that good. I don't really think he was that good. But at his peak, I don't think he's going to be up to that, especially with the Falcons. Let's just say this could bite me in the ass, but I don't care. Their offense sucks, and we all know it. Their offense sucks. They don't really have anybody there. Obviously, the best player when you really look at their offense is probably Kyle Pitts at tight end, who they drafted last year. But I do think the Saints have plenty of players that can match up with Kyle Pitts in coverage. We got Demario Davis. I think last year the Saints put Lattimore on him a few times, so we'll see if they do that. Obviously, there's a height differential there, so we'll see if the Falcons would go to that matchup. But last year they really didn't. And I think the Saints, in really both matchups, neutralized Kyle Pitts quite a lot, especially last year. Obviously last year, that's the only time they played Kyle Pitts, but I'm mostly referring to the Week 18 matchup as opposed to the first matchup. Because I believe Kyle Pitts had a chance to break some form of record. I think it was a rookie tight ends receiving record in that Saints-Falcons game in Week 18, and he only had like one catch for maybe 10 yards, something like that. So Kyle Pitts had absolutely no chance of breaking that record because the Saints neutralized the fuck out of him. I think they can do that again today or tomorrow. I think Tyrann Mathieu can match up with them. I think even Marcus May can match up with them. I think the Saints have plenty of players that can be up to the task in coverage, so I'm not all too worried about that. Especially because Drake London, the Falcons' rookie wide receiver, who's probably going to be their number one right off the bat, is listed as questionable. So if Drake London, for some reason, is not ready to go, the entire focus just has to be Kyle Pitts, And let's not forget about Cordell Patterson, who obviously had a breakout year last year since the Falcons kind of used him in a different role. But if I'm being honest, I don't really expect Cordell Patterson to live up to that this season. Obviously, he's still a dangerous threat in terms of the passing game. In the run game, he can do some things. But I don't think he's going to be the main focus of the offense anymore. I think they're really going to try to get the ball to Kyle Pitts and Drake London in space. They have Olamide Zaccheaus, who they might like. Olamide Zaccheaus had 2 touchdowns against us last year, but I still don't really fear him that much. They just traded for Bryan Edwards on the Raiders, who is also mid. So, really, the Falcons should really, really hope Drake London plays or they have a chance at winning this game, and Drake London actually does some things, because the Saints do have a lot of corners that can match up with these receivers, and I think the Saints have the clear advantage on defense. One small issue, though, is that Paulson Adebo is listed as out for this game, so he will not play. So it's looking like Bradley Roby will be that number 2 corner in this game. But I'm still not all that worried. I think P.J. Williams will be in the slot. We'll have Marcus McIntyre and Matthew back deep. I'm just not worried. Pete Warner has also recovered from his injury, I believe. I'm pretty sure he's playing. Eric McCoy had some form of issue during the week, but he's fine. He's ready to go. In fact, he just got a 5-year extension with the Saints, so that's really good to see. Yeah, I don't think the Falcons really want to run the ball either, because let's just say the Saints front 7 have a clear advantage against the Falcons front 7. I mean, the Falcons front 5, their offensive line. I think, if the Falcons try to make a run-focused game plan, that won't be smart, because we got David Onyemata, we got Marcus Davenport and Cam Jordan on the edge, we got Demario Davis and Pete Warner. It wouldn't be smart for them to win the game running the ball. I think their best chance at winning this game is getting players like Kyle Pitts and Drake London in space. They're getting Drake London out in space, getting some form of gadgets or key matchups, or trying to look for advantage matchups for them when it comes to getting Cordell Patterson involved and getting Kyle Pitts involved, which I think will be easier said than done. Overall, I think the Saints defense also has a clear advantage against the Falcons offense. I don't think that's being biased either. I think we all know. When we look at the better teams on paper, the Saints just absolutely smoked the Falcons. I mean, if we're really being honest here, the Falcons are probably a competitor for the number 1 overall pick. Now, if I am saying all this shit about the Falcons and I'm wrong tomorrow, you know what? I will completely own the fact that I am wrong, because I'm a man of my word. If I'm wrong, I will honestly tell you guys I'm wrong. I don't claim to be an expert. I'm just giving you guys my opinions and my thoughts on tomorrow's game. But this is a new season. This could be completely different. The Saints could completely disappoint. We could have all this talent on paper, and we could not live up to the expectations. The Falcons could not have as good of a roster on paper, and they could absolutely smoke the Saints and catch them off guard week 1. You never know how this shit ends up happening. But I'm not going to lie to you guys. I'm going to give you guys my honest thoughts, and I honestly think the Saints should win this game. I'm going to say the Saints are going to win this game by a score of... Damn, I didn't really think about this one. I'm going to say 34-17, the Saints win this game. I think that's a pretty fair score, because I think the Saints are significantly better and that they are just locked in. I think Jameis is going to have a great game. I think Alvin Kamara is going to have a great game. I think Mark Ingram is going to get involved. And we've got Michael Thomas. I cannot wait to see him play tomorrow. Now, if he doesn't play, I'm probably just going to kill myself. But overall, I think the Saints really have the advantage here. And if they don't fuck around, they should win this game. And that pretty much does it for this video. Thank you guys for watching. And tomorrow's game day, so I'm super excited. Let me know what you guys want to see. What are your predictions? Comment down below. And I'll see you guys tomorrow after the game.